The next game we've got is Kansas City Chiefs versus the Cleveland Browns. Now, this is going to be at the Arrowhead. That's the name of the stadium, right?
Yep.
Yeah, in Kansas City. The match spread is got Kansas City favored by 10 points. The over-under is 56 and 56.5. And I think one of the key points here is a formula beat. The formula you want to have to beat great quarterbacks is to keep them off the field. And the Browns are the third best running team in the NFL behind the Ravens. So if they can continue running the ball and kill that clock, you take Patrick Mahomes off the field and one of the Kansas City's biggest weapons away from them.
I think it's the same formula for like the Rams to beat the Packers. It's running the ball. For Cleveland, to beat the Chiefs, they have to dominate the time of possession. They have to run the ball. They have two great running backs in Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. This is if you will, the Kareem Hunt revenge game, right? Him being cut. Obviously, he lied to the owner of the team after brutally beating, which none of us condone that woman on video, but lied about it. Then the video came out, which he was, cut from them, but landed with the Browns. So as Josh talked about, right, the formula to beat Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, the high-powered offense, the best offense in football, you could say, right, other than probably the Packers at this time, you got to keep them off the field. You have to play defense with your offense. You have to run the ball. You have to create a larger gap in time of possession. You have to continue to get first downs. You're going to have to throw the ball at some point. So Baker is going to have to step up. I see a lot of play action going off this, but you know what I think is funny about this game, Josh, which I'm not sure a lot of people are looking at. So Andy Reid, obviously, the longtime head coach of the Eagles, now obviously the head coach of Kansas City, brought a Super Bowl back, something he could never do when he was in Philly. And obviously, if you do bring Super Bowls back, right, you get fired. Obviously, the Doug Peterson piece. So that's you probably should never go to the Eagles. I think that's very clear now. But a cool point about this playoffs, which I was just reading through, and this is via Tom Pelissero with the NFL. The Andy Reid treat is live and well in the playoffs this year. Just with the Ravens, John Harbaugh, he was a longtime Andy Reid assistant, right? He was on special teams and so forth. You have Sean McDermott, who's arguably the coach of the year with the Bills, right? 13-3. Josh Allen being a lot better, and we'll talk about that. But he was a longtime Andy Reid assistant. And then the one that pertains to this game is Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski obviously was not in the game last week. He had COVID. He was watching it in the basement. While he had his interim coach basically taking over. But Kevin Stefanski is under, the tree of Andy Reid, and he got his start as an Eagles training camp intern. And so what Stefanski believes in is play action. So I think you're going to see a ton of running, play action, boot with Baker, short passes, direct passes, move the chains. We'll get into who we think is going to win.
Stefanski just sounds like one of those names like Steven Glansberg, and he probably sits by himself in the locker room while he's eating his lunch.
Yep. Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Another interesting narrative in this game is the history between these two quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes and Baker Mayfield. I've got an interesting little tidbit I want to share with you. Let's do this. Now, everybody remembers this game, the biggest, what is it? Showdown? What is it like? What was the word they used the other day? When it's just a high scoring matchup against shootout. There you go. It's an awesome shootout between these two quarterbacks. Let me turn this off because it's in my head. But everyone remembers this game in 2016. There's 125 points and 1,700 total yards. These two guys have some history, and it's going to be fun to watch them go back at it with some like NFL tools at their disposal.
What's unbelievable, just looking at those stats on the right-hand side, Patrick Mahomes, 52 of 88
Yeah.
88 throws.
88 throws. That's twice as many as a normal.
Oh my
like,
God.
NFL
I was
game.
watching a conversation with Warren Moon and Colin Cowherd yesterday. The most he's ever thrown in a game is 61. 88 is just insane. And obviously, you can do that in college football. But then the 734 is just bonkers. Where if you look at like what you have Baker throwing 52 less throws. I mean, that is just insane. Obviously, they had Mixon, right? So you just run the ball.
Yeah.
But that's pretty crazy. I think everyone on that list right there is actually, everyone on that list is in the NFL. D.D. Westbrook with the Jaguars. Kiki Kuti is on the Texans. Joe Mixon is on the Bengals, and obviously Baker and Mahomes on the respective teams today. So
look, these throws are absolute laser beams. And look at the numbers though. 545 yards on 27 completions and seven touchdowns.
Yeah. You know what's funny though? Not to say these numbers get replicated, but it's going to be the same type of game, right? Not to say where Baker's throwing for 7 TDs, but the 27 for 36, that's probably all you want Baker to throw because you want to run the hell of the ball. So the Oklahoma strategy is actually going to be the same one that, say the Browns should follow against the Chiefs, where the Chiefs are going to just be throwing the ball, right? They're going to be throwing the hell out of the ball, try to beat the secondary. You just saw Ben Roethlisberger. He threw 4 INTs, but he also threw 500 yards and 4 TDs. I would take Patrick Mahomes to run against, that secondary over Ben. So it's a same kind of game, just not as many touchdowns for Baker in this one, but certainly Chubb and Kareem could go for 2 each.
No, I agree. And that's why I will be taking Kansas City on the spread as well at -10.
So I'm going against you on this one. And this is probably a dumb bet, but the reason I'm doing this, I kind of like this whole front line of Cleveland, the defensive line. I like Garrett. I like how he's getting after the quarterbacks. The secondary, like I talked about, they're going to get gassed. You're going to get Patrick Mahomes is going to throw for the 3 TDs. You just know that. You know that going in. So the one thing you need to be able to do, which they've been able to do very well, is run the football. And I think you've been waiting for this game. Kareem Hunt talked about it. He's been visualizing this game, and so forth. I think you got to run this ball probably 70, 80 times. Just run the hell out of this ball. And then you got to get play action going, right? Play action on Austin Hooper and the tight end over the field. Get Jarvis Landry off some ins and outs. There's not going to be any of these like deep posts or anything of that sort. I think you take calculated risks, but you got to be aggressive in the running game. And you have to make sure that you take advantage of the time of possession.
Sure.
So give me the Browns +10.
Interesting. Wow. So
I don't think they're going to win.
You don't think you're going to win, but you're going to bet against the Chiefs spread.
I'll put this. I wouldn't be shocked if they won. I wouldn't be shocked, but a betting man, give me the points, right? There's 10 points, lose by 7, fine, and still win. But I think just the way they're running the ball right now, they're just dominating. They're just running all over people. They ran all over the Steelers, ran all over them.
Yeah.
Kansas City's run defense isn't as good as that. So, yeah, we'll see. I could be.
Yeah. We're going to have to slice up this bit and run ads targeted to people in Cleveland because they're desperate. They're desperate for victory.
I'm on the board. Let's go, Dog Pound.